Now, suicide is among the most divisive things in society. Everyone has an opinion about it. Religions, governments, political thinkers, they may differ in their approach, but their end goal is the same: preventing suicide. Which is why this latest report from India is worrying. It was published by the National Crime Record Bureau. What does it say? It says more than 160,000 Indians died by suicide in 2021. The year before, it was 150,000. So the number of suicide deaths is up 6.1%. In fact, 2021 was the worst year on record. Almost 120 suicides were reported per million population. Now, each suicide case is different. The circumstances, the motive, all of it changes from person to person. But the numbers do reveal some worrying trends, like student suicides. They were up 4.5% in 2021. The state of Maharashtra had the highest numbers, followed by Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Put together, India reported more than 13,000 student suicides. In 2020, it was 12,500. The trajectory is worrying. And just to be clear, this isn't only because of the Wuhan virus pandemic. Yes, it contributed to some extent, but the trend has been worrying since 2017. In the under 18 age group, the report highlights two major reasons for it. And listen to this carefully, two major reasons, under 18. One is failure in examination. The second is family problems. There is an increasing gender component as well. Almost 56% of the suicide deaths were male. Compared to that, female cases reached a 5-year low. Around 45,000 women died by suicide in 2021. Among them, almost half were homemakers. Experts say this could be a lasting impact of the pandemic, a side effect of the lockdown and the resulting anxieties. Around 38% of the suicides were by daily wagers and the self-employed. And this trend is also worrying. The share of these two groups has grown from 32% in 2018 to 38% in 2021. Location is another indicator. More than 1,000 suicides were attributed to unemployment in this report. Out of this, 40% were reported in two cities, Mumbai and Delhi. Now, we think of them as dream cities, the dream cities of India at least, where anything is possible. But this report shows the downside of those dreams. Let's compare India's numbers with the region. Pakistan's suicide rate is 8.9 suicides per 100,000 people. China is 8.1, Bangladesh 3.7, Nepal is 9. India's suicide rate is 12 per 100,000, which is much higher than all its neighbors. The question is why? India's political atmosphere is way better than these countries. So is the economy and the security situation. Then why does India have a higher suicide rate? Well, one explanation could be the authenticity of data. Perhaps other countries have incomplete numbers, but India cannot take that chance. It must address this hidden pandemic of suicide. The numbers themselves offer some clues on how to do it. For example, student suicides are on the rise, which means the education system must reform. The obsession with perfection must be toned down. Parents must also prepare their children for failure, and that's very, very important. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to learn from. Same with gender differences. 50% of all female suicides are by homemakers. What does that indicate? It could be a problem of loneliness. It could be a feeling of being overlooked, a problem of self-respect. Whatever the cause, it must be probed and addressed. Families must begin talking about mental health, first within themselves and then with professionals. And we can talk about this all we want. But without concrete action, nothing changes. Every year we publish these numbers, whip up some headlines, and then we forget about it. And that's not the point of numbers and statistics. Data is supposed to help policymakers. In this case, the data is loud and clear. The number of suicides in India is growing every year. Students and job seekers are killing themselves. If this does not ring alarm bells, I don't know what will. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.